Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is another video about how to do some cool stuff with redstone. I showed last time about how to do all this cool redstone dory things and the trap that I'm sure everyone will remember. But as I was talking about traps last time, I sort of got a bit carried away with the idea of sort of some cool designs I could build, so I've devised these three pretty simple runes, all that have sort of got their own trap behind them. Yes, there's TNT, you can build the anticipation up there. And so these are sort of the three most basic, well, they're maybe not basic, but the three most coolest sort of redstone traps I could come up with. Because I thought, sort of, for the PvP element and also like I just think there's something quite cool about building contraptions with redstone. Oh, a switch for lighting cookies. I wonder what that might do. Well, I'm sure no one saw that coming. That probably could be done a bit quicker, because as you can tell, the lava took a while to actually get down to me. But that's sort of just problem with lava. Nobody hate that. I just hate lava. Oh well, I think I'll leave that to burn itself out. Got a high CPU usage error, that's something you don't really want coming up. And I was talking about how you could use tripwires and stuff in the last video. And so what I've got here is I've got a tripwire, and if any of you are very familiar with tripwires, you probably know what's coming. But I've got a bit of TNT over there hooked up with my tripwire, and couple of wire, all the TNT will explode. Oh, so that wire's hooked up to TNT. That makes sense. Huh? How does it do anything? Oh, I'll cut the wire anyway. And if you didn't quite get what I did there, something very clever, all thanks to this chappy here, who was sitting on the other end of the tripwire. You probably saw him through the gap. He was sitting on it for me, so it was constantly emitting a redstone signal. The only reason it isn't now is because the tripwire is broken by my shears. Once again, you might be able to hide that a bit better than I have, but so if you put that wire down there, which I'll demonstrate, that is constantly held down thanks to the test. Not sure what's going on there. Well, it normally constantly generates a signal anyway, and the what am I missing? Oh, looks like he's getting a bit stage shy. Try and move him outwards. But and he's making a run for it all, that's amazing. But what you would do is I used a villager for no reason other than basically it doesn't make they don't make sounds, or not I know of. I put down a cow originally, but that could be quite noisy. Well, there we go. So that's constantly generating a signal, and then that was going through an inverter. And so as long as they were on as long as the tripwire was activated and they were standing on the tripwire, it was actually not producing a signal because it was going through an inverter. So if I took that out, that would be generating. And so the whole idea was, when I cut the tripwire, it stops it sending out a little signal. You can see it's coming out here. And that's with the tripwire, so that's sending out the signal that goes through the inverter. So as long as they're standing on the tripwire, it doesn't stop the TNT. And so just obviously the second you cut the signal, cut the wire even, you're cutting the signal. And that sets off the TNT thanks to an inverter. So that's sort of a set-off trap. That's sort of like down to our own initiative. So if you sort of had like someone's like telling them to cut the wire, cutting the wire can actually be more of a curse than a saviour. And if any of you have done traps before, I'm guessing you know what's coming here. Now, this is very effective for how we get out of it myself. And that basically could not be much simpler. That's sort of just, I can hit the switch. That is just a redstone signal going through not even going from an inverter. The only reason the repeater is there is to keep the signal going. I only go 16 blocks. And so whenever you pull the switch, it closes the things or open them in the traps case and then drops the sand. And I must admit, I think this is probably definitely the simplest. Like, you don't need to have anything to do with redstone. All I've done is place redstone along there. I actually don't think I need a repeater there at all. If I was to take out, I think I've sort of overcomplicated it there. If I was to take out that, it would work in the same principle. But instead, you'd flip the switch and it'd open. So you don't even need a redstone repeater there, it's just wire going through to the switch at the bottom. So that's pretty simple. My favourite though is the test certificate one. I just think there's something very awesome about them setting off the trap themselves while trying to protect from it. I don't know, there's something very cool about that. The lava one, despite being extremely simple, isn't very effective because it takes so long for the lava to flow down. Like, I could have just easily just gone, oh look, there's lava. But yeah, so that's sort of down to how smart the person is. If they actually thought it was lighting, that's why I put lighting and cookies on the sign, so they'd think it would actually be a fact about that, but instead it's actually lava. You can also see the lava droplets coming down, which doesn't take a genius to work out what that means, but as a very simple basic trap, and all that's up here is a bit tight on this one. It's a little basin, like I showed on my cocoa farm in the last vid, and that goes through an inverter. Don't need the inverter, once again, you don't need the inverter, I've just overcomplicated it. But and that goes through to the switch. That basically just means it takes one less switch pull, and so when you're setting it up, it doesn't destroy. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this took only sort of 3 minutes to build, this one and the furthest one along. But the one in the middle took quite a while to get the sort of the inverters and the redstone signals to go all the way through. And I set, as you can see, I set off the TNT about 10 times before I got it to work properly. Get a bit of lag there. But once you got rid of all the kinks, I thought that worked quite well. And actually, probably the longest bit on all of them was actually just building the structures. That probably took about 10 minutes. This all sort of took me maybe half an hour maximum, including doing time. Now I have a sunset over a marvellous creation of traps. And so that would have sand along there, obviously, just to demonstrate there wasn't some like super magic going on there. You just place that down. I was watching an update video from a YouTube commentator where they were saying about they were adding anvils to the game which dropped, and they did damage depending on the drop height. I think that's a great idea personally, but so I could have it dropping sand, like not sand, sorry, anvils instead of sand, and so from a lot higher height that would kill you, as he showed in the video. But that's extremely effective, because even when I'm double tapping spacebar, it's just very hard to get out of, and now I'm really lagging. And obviously if I was in creative, that would kill me in about sort of 3 seconds, I think. I'm not sure how fast suffocation takes down your hearts. I get some really bad lag here. It's pretty good with so many tabs open. But yeah, so that's the redstone traps, I guess, that I did for this how-to episode. If there's like any other traps you want to see done, I've got a couple of ideas for like pitfall traps and other stuff that I was going to do with someone else, but I sort of need to get the online working for that. But so yeah, that's been the how-to traps. Bye.